Coach, we talked about defense fueling the offense. How do you like your group's ability, especially in that second half, to turn turnovers into offense for your group?
The second half was much better than the first. I thought we tried to exchange baskets too much early on. Got into the sprint game, the rat race with them, and then they put up 35 and 30, 2 quarters in those first 2 quarters. That wasn't who we are and who we needed to be. But in that second half, being able to sit down and guard a little bit better.
Going back to that second quarter, just what did you make of the team's shots from 3 and what went on that frame?
Yeah, I didn't love them. I did not. I did not love the shots that we had. I mean, there was a bunch of times we had open breaks, advantage breaks, and I think we settled. But then, you challenge them in that second half to come out and attack the basket, and then we get downhill and end up getting to the free throw line, just like we're capable of doing, versus bailing guys out, with the quick shots.
Coach, you mentioned the turnovers and scoring off, and 24 turnovers, 39 points off those turnovers, 15 combined steals and blocks for Bancaro, Suggs, and Black. What do you think caused all that defensive activity and unleashed that tonight?
I just think we realized that our defense is that calling card tonight to make sure that we got the easy baskets. They were big at the rim, so us being able to score in transitions is what we needed to do, and it had to start with our defensive effort and our energy, and getting our hands on the basketball, then executing on the break. We've got to continue to get better there, just finishing in transition when we do cause those turnovers.
What did you make of the Jazz not playing the majority of the turns in the fourth quarter?
I really don't make anything of it. I mean, it goes in the right column for us right now, and we've got to continue to get better at what we do. I'm not too much concerned about what they do in that situation. It's about us trying to figure out a way to win the game.
Down 17, Moe gets that read the offense with them off and this free throw seems to spark that.
Yeah.
How important is he to kind of lift this team up, especially because it felt like they were getting frustrated with the shooting at that point?
Yeah, I thought Moe was excellent, in that regard. Hit some big time threes. The energy he brought. We said in the last huddle in the 2-minute time, it was just get it to 10, and then by the quarter we ended up getting it to 7. And so our mini goals in that situation is what kind of sparks this team to be able to look at just the small goals and try to achieve those versus trying to say just go find a way to win the game. Just do the mini goals. That's what's important.
Why do you think it's a bit more of a struggle to kind of find those energy plays and kind of find that, especially when guys are kind of in the rut, because it seems like Thursday was Jamahl making some of those plays.
Mm-hmm.
In the first half, there was a lot more of those plays that felt like, and then Moe makes that play and starts to kind of get that snowball rolling.
Yeah, I think it always takes a spark. Our crowd was great, and Moe made those big plays. That got the energy up. We got a couple big stops. The energy was up. The crowd, our fans are absolutely fantastic, and we needed that. This is why the homestand is so important. When you can get that energy from the crowd, which our group is great, we needed that a ton.
Coach, ugly win, not the prettiest win, but a win nonetheless. How do you take it that you're winning these games like this at this point in the season? And I know you're happy with the win, but would you prefer to have maybe look a little nicer through the 4 quarters?
I'd rather learn in a win like this than in a loss. And at the end of the day, our process has to continue to get better. I think we got out-rebounded. The rebounding count, I didn't love that they had, 12 offensive rebounds, and they were timely. When we gambled a few times, there's being able to sit down and just guard positionally, and we can continue to get better there. But those are all small pieces that we're going to continue to improve on. And it's better to do it in a win than to look it back and say why we lost the game.
Going off of that, you're down 17, 10 home run to finish the third quarter. Moe Wagner provides a spark for the team as well. Just how proud of the team are you when it comes to having those ugly type of wins, but you're showing that resiliency in a game where you probably could have laid down about 17?
And that's what it is, and that's a great point. You have to battle through adversity. I don't care who you play. In any game, there's game of runs, and how do you handle that within the game? You said down 17, you just go for those mini goals. At the 2-minute mark, we talked about let's just get it to 10. Those are the small things that these guys can grab a hold of and understand exactly what we need to do. Not trying to go for the big home run goal, but just small mini battles within the game to be able to take care of it and get it under control.
Coach, while leading the team in assists, how important is it in these wins to have facilitate what they did tonight?
I thought he was in that regard. He was really good. Put the ball in his hands in the middle of the floor. Found Mo a couple times. Found Tristan on a cut. Found Dell on a cut. AB on a cut. I think those are things when we can continue to move off the ball. When he has the ball in the middle of the floor, he's trying to make that right play to find the right guy, and that's what these guys did tonight. That's what he did.
Jamal, it seemed like the Jazz in the first 3 quarters had a bunch of baskets off of back cuts. What seemed that way?
You're very right. They had about 5 of them.
What causes that, and was it a lack of focus from your guys?
Game plan says send everything up the floor with these guys because they do a great job of cutting and moving, and so they read it the right way. They took 1 step up the floor. We got on the high side, and they were able to make the pass. Now that's a combination of 2 things: is the man on the ball's got to have more pressure, so he can't make the easy pass, and then that man that's guarding that back cut, you've got to send everything up the floor. You got to get underneath and force him into the ball handler.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
As your group, especially in that second half, was able to turn their turnovers into offense, how did you like your group's ability to convert on the other end of the mistake?
I thought, first and foremost, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, Jonathan Isaac coming in, giving us a spark, Tristan, I thought all of them were great on that defensive end, just causing havoc. I think Paolo had 3 steals. So I think it was our energy and our effort that turned the game. Like you said, was able to let us get out and run. We kind of struggled offensively, taking some quick shots early. But I thought once we got some stops, it kind of opened the game up for us and opened some things up on that end of the floor for us.
You mentioned taking some shots early. Just what do you think didn't work in that second quarter? Did Utah's size cause any issues for you guys?
I think that we just didn't stick to our process enough. It's going to happen, at times, but we've kind of talked about it. When things do start to go awry, we got to kind of double down, have a feel for, the flow of the game and what's going on in the game. And I thought that's kind of where we lost control of it a little bit there in the second quarter to finish the quarter. We've already talked about finishing quarters and, how important that is. And, they had some momentum going into the half, so it was tough.
How do you catch yourself? When things are starting to go awry, to not let the lead kind of move the way that it did in this game. I think you guys had got cut like the 11-point lead down to like 6, and then they moved it back up to 17. How do you catch yourself and get back to your process faster?
I think it's poise. I think that we got to have an understanding and just a level of poise. They come down and turn the ball over, maybe score, and Keontae George is laying on the floor holding his ankle, and we come down and shoot a 3 when we have a 3-on-1. I think that's just one example, but those are times that we really got to take advantage of, what's presented to us on the floor. Possessions like that, add up. I came back and I think we fouled, got them out of the game, and it's just momentum swingers.
Des, now that Moe is back, came in when they were down by 17 and then sparked that, got the crowd involved. How big is it to have him back on the bench and especially on the floor with you guys through the stretch of the season?
He's humongous. He told us, before the previous game, like we got to have our juice and our energy, and you see he's been bringing it for sure. And I think that even he'll tell you, like we all got to have that energy from the start. It can't just be when we're down and we're trying to rally back to come back from a deficit. Like we have to play with that emotion and that care and that willingness to be unselfish and defend for a full 48 minutes. And that's everybody's challenge, but that's ours as we head into the back half of this season.
That was a week ago, you probably didn't expect to see Jaron and John Conchar and Vince Williams on the other side of the floor, but how does it make you feel knowing that the team that you were with before is kind of moving off of that core that you had built in Memphis, and then also to kind of take that off of that? When you do face 3 guys that you know very well and you've been teammates with for a while, how do you contribute to the scouting report maybe a little bit more differently than you would in a normal game?
Yeah, I think that it's crazy for sure seeing them in those threads. Me and Jaron talked about it before the game, he was saying that he kind of liked it. He likes it. So I'm happy that him and Jitty and Vince are finding a home, and somewhere that hopefully they'll be able to feel comfortable and grow, be a part of, some winning basketball in the future. But it is nuts, that's a business. Moving away from the core in Memphis, we had a good thing going for sure. Obviously wasn't able to achieve what we wanted to, and if you don't win at the highest level in this league, then changes are usually made. So I understand it. But yeah, as far as the scouting report, we just played Memphis 2 weeks ago too, or whatever it was, over in London and Berlin back to back. So I think everybody was pretty familiar with their games and knew the challenges that they was going to present tonight.
So just talk a little bit about winning and why that's so important, and just sealing the deal at the end and getting a W.
Talk about what, sorry?
Just winning the game at the end, and it's either a W or a nil, but you guys won.
No, I thought it was huge. This time of the year and after the season's over, I don't think people are gonna look back and say what happened or why was it so close. They're only gonna remember if it was a win or a loss. But with that being said, we have to look ourselves in the mirror and understand that we need to play better. We're a better team than what we showed, and I think we'll continue to improve.
As Coach Mosley was saying, how important converting off the turnovers is for this team. 24 forced turnovers, 39 points. I thought you were showing some of that playmaking point guard vision in transition with dump off passes and pushing the pace. What goes through your decision making to read and react in those quick decisions off a turnover, those freestyle havoc plays where you just have to make a decision very quickly to attack or pull up or make a dive?
Yeah, I have a lot of trust in myself. I put in a lot of work, a lot of time into this game, and I trust myself to make the right basketball play. Whether that's shooting it or getting my teammate involved. So, never second guess yourself and always remain extremely aggressive.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back with Mo.
Mo, how did you like your group's ability to generate turnovers and convert them to points, especially in the second?
I love it. That's who we are. Got to get back to that. That's our identity. I think we kind of somewhat lost that a little bit, and I think that's kind of the base on which we have to build what we do. So, of course, every time we can kind of win a game like that in the third or fourth quarter, I think it's a great step in the right direction.
As we inch closer and closer to the All-Star break, just how important is it for you guys to be able to stack wins like this, to have a great end to the first half going into the All-Star break in the second half of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to, we always joke with Des and I always joke about it. You can't wait not to see each other for a couple of days, but you want to go into that break with a good feeling. It's much needed for everybody to spend some time with their families, get away from the business a little bit and enjoy life for 4 days or whatever it is, and then get back with a good mindset. And the more important, as important as that is, the more important it is to have a good vibe going into that break and be excited to come back and kind of have some momentum going into that.
After the first couple quarters, I understand that you were very frustrated with the calls that you guys weren't getting or the mid shots that were going. So later towards the end of the game, how did you manage to keep your composure and rally the team and the fans in order to secure the win?
Listen, I think there hasn't never been a game where no team has been not frustrated with the referees. It's a very tough job for them. I think it's worth mentioning that. And this is like everything in life. Wherever you put your energy, it will turn around for you. So it's kind of on us to make that decision. You can complain all the time. That's the easiest thing to do. And sometimes that's human too. But at the end of the day, our intention is to win, not to be right towards Mark Davis. I want to win a basketball game, and they have a tough job. I watched basketball for a whole year, and I wasn't happy with every call, but you see it from a whole different perspective. It's very difficult. Nobody wants to do that, get yelled at for 48 minutes. So I respect that a lot, and I always try to remind myself too when I talk to them, be respectful even though you're emotional. And then kind of channel that energy into defense and rebounding and the little things.
Jaron and Lauren Martin were giving you guys issues 27 and 22 points. What were they doing so well that was confusing your defense, and how can you improve, especially against bigs down the stretch of the season?
Yeah, I mean, they're good players. I think Laurie is having a heck of a season. I think their coach puts them in great positions to score too. I think they do something very differently offensively where it's really difficult to guard because you don't see it much. All of them kind of understand the game really well, so whether you switch or not switch, they understand where to put themselves in order to get an advantage. Sure, it's a basket, and then obviously you want to take that away so the three-point shot is open, and they're all very skilled. So they do a really good job of putting their best players in a position to be successful, and obviously they're super skilled. But some of these shots, like that Jaron, that's why he's so good. Like, you got to live with him. You're not going to take everything away. That guy has an incredible touch around the rim. You can't be mad at every shot he makes. I think in the second half we did a much better job.
Kind of on the game when it turned in that third quarter when you kind of dug out that offensive rebounder, or not the ball out of bounds off and then off Utah to off of this free throw and spark that kind of 15-2. I mean, how important are those energy plays kind of getting that feeling back and kind of building the snowball to make runs like this?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. I've made the experience that one comes after the other. You know, you can't expect great offensive games and great turnarounds if you kind of don't try to change the temperature in the game. So you have to do that. It doesn't promise you anything that you make shots. It doesn't promise you that you make that you get stops. But you got to start somewhere. So to me, that was kind of like going out of that timeout. I was like, okay, well, we got to try now, because if we don't try now, we're probably not going to win. So creating like a spark, it's kind of been my MO. It's how I clawed myself back into the league. So I'm trying to get my swag back too. So that's kind of a way of doing that, you know, helping the team out. And then we're so talented. Once we have a certain momentum and swagger, I think we're just rolling, and we get in stops, and we care, and we're really hard to score on.
No, coaches preached consistently throughout his time here about playing with joy and, you know, using that to kind of build the energy you guys have. And how difficult is it to be doing that during this stretch where things may not have gone your way every game, or you're kind of fighting to win these games? You know, is the whole team, have they lost a little bit of that joy, or, you know, what can be done to maybe bring that back if it's been gone?
Listen, I mean, you said that. I like everywhere in life, when you lose, it sucks. When you win, it's great. You know, so that's the end of the story. And we haven't played our best basketball, probably. There's plenty of reasons for that. But the beautiful thing about the league is you have 82 games. You don't just have 30. So there's plenty of NBA teams in the past that haven't had that season that they were expected to have, and then kind of turned it around towards the end. And I think that's the mindset. And it's on us players to kind of come up with that, because we are out there. I think everybody got to kind of make a decision whether we come to work and do our routine and do that with the right mindset, and then come to the game, do that with the right mindset, and see if the result works out, or if we just kind of put our heads down and somewhat, I don't know, how do you want to call it, but like surrender to the circumstances, you know. I think after the All-Star break, after we kind of rejuvenated our mind a little bit and recharged, we will not surrender. I thought it was kind of like a dope last word. No, I'm just kidding. Do your thing. Hey, you know, like, amen. Preach. Come on, don't ruin it. No, I'm just kidding. Go do your thing. Do your thing.
And to make it worse, I've got two questions.
Oh, it's your job, man.
How does a team that has been as successful with its identity of getting stops and then making offense off those stops lose that identity for even a period of time?
Oh, now you're asking questions. If you have the answer, let me know. I mean, that's part of the grind too. The main reason why it's so hard to win in this league is because it's really difficult to stack up days for that long. Obviously, energy takes a lot. Defense takes a lot of energy too. So you guys have to be super disciplined, super consistent, super healthy to do that over a long stretch. And it's also not like we're playing football where you have two sides of the ball. You know, the offense affects the defense and the other way around. So I think all these factors kind of play in here. And again, it's on us players too to we got to develop. Like, we're a young team, but that doesn't mean, and we're really good, and most of us are paid, but that doesn't mean that it just stops. Like, the league is getting better, and we got to get into the gym. We got to work. We got to develop, and that nothing is given to you. You know, so the window is very short in this league, and I think that's kind of a growing process we're going through. But we kind of got to embrace that too, because that's the privilege of this. That's not easy, and we're still here, and I kind of think that's fun. That's awesome. So that's kind of the mindset going into the gym every day.
Given that you missed 13 months, how much did it mean to you? I know you care more about the team than yourself, but how much did it mean to you for you to be at the center of the energy rush that put you guys back into the game tonight, to be key to that?
Yeah, I mean, you just said, of course, the team is first, and I don't want to be selfish, but I mean, it's addicting, dude. Like, that's what I do. That's what I love to do. And your perspective changes when you can't do what you love to do for a long time. So, of course, that does something for me. It gives me great deal of confidence. Gives me a great deal of joy that I kind of found a way back there, you know, and gives me a great motivation to continue to do that consistently as well, and that we won this even better.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Have a wonderful Sunday.